Delicious people, Unicorn Jazz here with another video. So I have some devastating news. My dad, cool dude, passed away on May 2nd. He was 82 years old. His birthday would have been coming up July 29th. He got sick May 1st. Took him to the hospital. We called 911. They took him to the hospital, and then he had passed away May 2nd from like a really bad infection. They don't know where the infection came from, but that's what happened to my dad. This is a friend. She hasn't seen me in a long time. I haven't been playing Adopt Me for a while. I'm on my dad. So I'm playing on my laptop on my dad's account. And my account is on the iPad. Let me see, Ivania. I'm making a video. I'll see you in a bit. She's so cute. Look at how cute she is. Oh, I miss you guys. Okay, so my dad, I have him dressed this way because he was a Navy veteran. He served about 25 years in the Navy. He retired from the Navy, honorable retirement. That was one of his proudest accomplishments, that he was proud to be able to call himself a retired Navy veteran. He was very smart. Like he graduated valedictorian of his class. When he graduated high school, he was born in Texas. And he was just my best friend. He was my best friend. He was my biggest supporter. And as you guys can see, he is African American, as am I. But I started playing with this avatar. I've been playing with this skin color for so I started playing Adopt Me in 2020. And when I first started, I played as like a black kid, a black girl. And I used to be a baby because I didn't have money. So, to get bucks, to get the best amount of bucks, you'll be a baby. I didn't have really friends. I didn't have friends when I first started, of course. So I would be a baby, taking care of my pets. And the kids used to be always throwing me off of the bridge and just being so mean to me. Like, they'll pick me up and I'm like, oh, they're going to play with me. And bam, throw me in the water. So, and then my son would make fun of me. Talking about, why am I playing like that with like that burnt biscuit? Even my son, like, why are you playing like that? And I'm like, what you talking about? Like, I'm black. And then it was like, I'm just like, yeah, the kids are, they're being mean to me. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna change it up. So I switched and started playing, with a white skin, and I stopped having that problem. Kids, like, maybe a kid might throw me off of the bridge every now and then, but not nearly as much as they did when I was playing as a black little girl. And then I met some friends. And then when they met me, I'm playing as a white girl. So I just continued to play as a white girl. And then that's just what I continued to do. Like, I think my avatar is very pretty. And then I found this face. Because before, I think I was playing with like a chibi face. Or No, it was like the exclusive face. Because they don't have it. Well, when I had my other account, because this is not my main account. When I started with my main account, they had exclusive faces. They didn't have the animated faces. They had a face game pass that you could buy that was like exclusive. So I would use one of those faces. I don't know if I have any. Probably if you look back in my old videos. No, but I think my old videos, I'm already starting to play with the chibi face. Okay, but then I found this face, and this is what I've been playing with ever since. you know, for me, and then I told my dad, because when he first started his Roblox account, he wanted, he put himself as a black guy. And I'm like, no, Dad, don't do that. I'm like, no, don't play black. I'm like, play white. What you talking about? Oh, I want to play white. I'm black, but he did it anyway for me. So that's just little history of my journey in Adopt Me. So yeah, so he would play Adopt Me, because this, became this became my favorite game and pretty much basically my life. So, I would play Adopt Me every day. He would play, but not really, just a little bit. He's made a couple videos with me, did some challenges. But I don't think he's ever watched any of my YouTube videos. He kept saying he was gonna watch them, but I don't think he ever did. He's like, I'm gonna watch it. But he never did because, my dad, he had other things, interests that he was, involved in his life. He was a Zumba instructor. He was 82 years old, but he was a Zumba instructor at the senior center. And they wanted him to be a Zumba instructor for, what's that, Fitness 19? I can't remember. I think he did that for a little while, or he didn't do it, or something like that. But they did, because he was really good. Even though he was 82 years old, my dad could move. He was healthy, so this all came as a big shock, a horrible surprise. And, he was my best friend. I talked to him on the phone every day. I hadn't seen him in a while because he lives about 75 miles away in another city. And, I always had an excuse to not go over there, either, I don't want to miss one of my son's baseball games, because I already missed half of his games because, I work every other weekend. His games are on the weekend. So, I miss half of his games on the weekend. And then sometimes he'll play during the week and I have to work, so I'll miss those games. So I always had an excuse like, Dad, I don't want to miss one of Jacob's games. And then, in the back of my head, I used to always think like, it's not that it's for sure that I'm going to have my son, that my son is going to be here with me until the day that I die. That's not a guarantee. Anything could happen, God forbid. But I figured, and I was thinking like, my dad, he's older. He doesn't have, as much time as me and my son should have together. So this has all been running through my head. Like, I should go see my dad. He had made some plans to come and see me. Those fell through. So I didn't see him like, I can't even remember if I saw him at all this year. If I did, it was probably like maybe one time or something like that. I did talk to him on the phone every day, multiple times a day, talking on the phone while I'm playing Adopt Me, talking on the phone, talking his ear off about Adopt Me, because like Adopt Me has been my world, outside of, my son. And then he would always say, Chantel, you put Adopt Me before your family. He said, you put Adopt Me before me. And I would like lie and say, no, I don't. But when I think about it, yes, I did. Because, I wouldn't, so I would say, okay, Dad, come to my house. And then I'd be like, okay, no, don't come. Especially like if Adopt Me had an update that I wanted to play. Because when my dad would come to my house, he'd be like, I came to your house to visit you and you playing Adopt Me. And he would just be, no, nagging, telling me to get off the game, and I didn't like that. So, I knew if my dad would come over here, I wouldn't be able to play my game, or I wouldn't be able to play a certain amount of time. So I put off a lot of time him coming to see me or me coming to see him, because maybe if Adopt Me was having an update, or I just wanted to play and I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be having that, that bickering, get off of the game. I was very selfish. And he told me, he goes, Adopt Me is more important to you than me. And I would say, no, it's not. But in reality, It was. But it wasn't just adopt me that kept me from seeing my dad. Like I said, he lived kind of far, you know. And then my other excuse would be, I'm missing my son's baseball game. So, so that was another excuse I had where I couldn't go see my dad. Now I can't see him at all. So you guys, family is very important. I know a lot of people who play Adopt Me, like my friends, we really love this game and we could play it all day, but don't let it take precedence over family, because every day is not guaranteed. I told my dad, I said, you're going to live to be 100, because he's never smoked. My dad has never took not even one puff of a cigarette, never smoked, never drank. The only time he took a drink was somebody, he had ordered a Coke, and the lady told him, the waitress was like, nobody orders Coke anymore, or something like that. Nobody orders Coke. And so she brought him a rum and Coke. So he looked at it, he was like, this is kind of dark. And he tasted it. He was, this is not, he said, this got alcohol in it. So he called her. He said, I thought I told you I wanted a Coke. I don't drink alcohol. So that's probably about the only time he ever tasted alcohol. No, my dad's never drank. Never did drugs, of course. Like, that's definitely a given. He was healthy. He was physically active. He did Zumba every day. He was an instructor, a Zumba instructor. So at his senior center, he would do Zumba Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday and Thursdays he would go to the other senior center in his city, because he would go to the other one in another city that was close by. Monday and Wednesday he taught his Zumba class, and then Tuesday and Thursdays he went to another Zumba class that was taught by other instructors, which he also was a part of their instruction Zumba crew. They call themselves the Zumba crew, so he was also an instructor over there too. But on Monday and Wednesday he was the main instructor over there. Tuesday and Thursdays he wasn't the main instructor. He was just, he would do it like a dance or something, like do one song, and just be there supporting the rest of the instructors, and just doing his Zumba thing right along with everybody else. And then he was a bowler. He loved to bowl. My dad was such a good bowler. He would bowl so many strikes. I'm telling you, this man, 82 years old, and could bowl like with the best of them. So I just always took it for granted. I always felt like I'm gonna have my dad for a long time, because there's no reason why I shouldn't. So I don't know what happened, how he got the infection or whatever, but he got a severe infection, and he was so sick he couldn't even call help for himself. It took my family, because I don't live with him. He lives far away with my other sisters, but he was sick. He probably felt ill somewhere in the night, because I did talk to him that night. He said I fell asleep with my clothes on. So I was like, good, I'm glad I woke you up. You gotta put on your pajamas. Did you take your eye drops and stuff like that? He's like, yeah, I did my eye drops. I think that's what he told me. But then he kept falling asleep. So I'm like, Dad, well, I'm not asleep. And then he'll fall back asleep again. So then the last time he fell back asleep, I just sat on the phone for a little bit. And of course I'm playing my game. And then I just hung up the phone. I'm like, okay, I hung up the phone. I'll talk to him tomorrow. I'm going to let him sleep. So I had to go to work. When when I get up for work, it'd be like 6:30. I leave home to go to work. I don't call my dad. Before, when I first started this job, he used to call me every morning to wake me up. But then he stopped doing that. So, but I could wake myself up. I didn't really need him to wake me up, and it used to get on my nerves. He would call me acting like he waking me up when I'm like, Dad, I'm waking myself up. I don't need your help. So, but he stopped calling me in the morning to wake me up for work. And then so I would call him every day on my first break, when I would go for my breakfast break. So, that day that he fell sick, I called him in the morning when I went to my breakfast break, which I went kind of late. than I usually do. It was like 9:45. He goes to a Zumba class. He has to be there at like 10:15. So, because usually I call him about 9 o'clock, 9:30 at the latest. And he would answer the phone and I would talk to him while he's getting ready for Zumba or whatever. So, when I called him at 9:45 and he didn't answer, I was like, oh, maybe he's, getting ready for Zumba. I didn't think anything of it. He's getting ready for Zumba. So then, okay, so on my next break, on my lunch break, I always call my dad. So I called him on lunch. He didn't answer. I don't know. I didn't think nothing about it. I was just like, okay, because sometimes he don't answer his phone, And I always tell him, I'm like, Dad, why you don't be answering your phone? I ain't worried about this phone. That phone be in my car, or that phone, I'm saying, maybe he left his phone in the car, after Zumba. Because for me, my phone is a connection of my hip, of my body. My phone is always in reach of me. I never go anywhere without my phone. If I leave my phone at home, I'm going back to go get it. I can't be without my phone, but not him. If he gets 5-10 minutes down the street, he's not going to turn around and go get his phone. He'll just keep going to his destination, be without a phone. But if that was me, I'm 5-10 minutes down the street, I'm turning around, going back to get my phone. But that wasn't my dad. He's from a different era. They didn't have phones back then, so the phone wasn't that important to him. So he didn't answer. And then so about 5 o'clock, I'm hanging meds. I'm at work. I'm hanging meds, and then my sister called and was like, Dad's in the hospital. We think he had a stroke. So I'm like, oh my God. So I left work. I went down there, and he was so sick. He couldn't even really talk. He was just, they'd be asking him what's his name. He's telling his name, just his first name. When I'm like, open your eyes, that he opened his eyes, but they looked like he wasn't looking at you. He would just open his eyes, and they just looked like one was going one way, one was going the other way. He was just really sick. And so, long story short, they ended up having to put him on a ventilator. And then we were all there talking to the doctor, and the doctor was telling us how sick he was, how there's a high chance that he might die. And then he was telling us that, they had him connected to the heart monitors and everything, and then his heart just stopped. And my older sister and brother had decided we weren't going to do CPR because he was already so sick, because his kidneys had shut down. He wasn't making any urine. They were talking about he needed to go on dialysis. All this stuff. When the day before on Wednesday, he bowled. No, not bowled. He did his Zumba class on Wednesday. He went to my sister's house, had movie night, and then from there, from my sister's house to when the time he got home, to the time my sister saw him in the morning, but didn't help him, thinking he was okay, he felt he was sick. So, yeah, my best friend. He was my best friend. He was my only friend. He was the only person that I could talk to. My sons, I have 2 boys. One is 18, one is 13. None of them have time to talk to their mom. I call them, try to talk with them, okay, Mom, hi, bye, I love you, bye, gotta go. My dad be the only one that would talk to me, and I would talk his ear off about adopt me, and he used to hate it. Don't you have something else to talk about besides Adopt Me? And, of course we had other things to talk about, but I like to talk about Adopt Me. Adopt Me was, my most favorite thing in the world, up until probably about a week before Easter. I started back trying to work on my spirituality. So I've been reading my Bible. I've been watching, my religious teachings on YouTube. And, I've been reading him the Bible and stuff, just reading the Bible. I'm doing a bad job at it. I'm still in Genesis, but I am on Genesis in the chapter 30, somewhere in there. Yeah, so So that's part of why you haven't seen me since playing Adopt Me as much or making videos, because I've been like really trying to work on my spirituality. And then now, since my dad passed away, I really haven't been playing. Oh, my game shut down. I really haven't been playing. So let's look at his inventory. So he has 4 bush elephants. So, you know, he would hate buying Robux. Like, he wouldn't hate it, but he was like, I am not spending all my money on no Robux. Like, me, I spent my whole check on Robux, you know. But my dad be like, okay, I'm going to buy some pets, but I'm not. And I'll just tell him, you know, okay, just buy 4, you know, so you can make a neon. So he bought 4 bush elephants, 4 chocolate chip bad dragons. He opened up this cryo sphinx. His first, when the moon egg first came out, it was the royal moon egg. So his royal moon egg, he opened up a cryo sphinx. His first egg looks like he has 3 danger eggs. He has 2 diamond griffins, a diamond egg, a dancing dragon. So he has some of these. He did get 4 berry fairy bad dragons, a firefly, got 3 fossil eggs. He has 3 frost furies, a frost unicorn, 4 glacier kitsunes. You know, all my dad did all this for me because I would ask him, you know, Dad, you know, play Adopt Me, you know, buy these pets, you're gonna want them, you're gonna want to make neons. My dad wasn't into this game. He was into this game because I was into this game. You know, that's about as far as he got into it, you know. But he did, you know, he saw that I liked the game, and he wanted to do stuff with me that I like to do, you know. So he did it, you know. So we did a video where we opened up hamsters, you know, through the, what did you throw, wheat or whatever you'd have to throw to get the hamster. So he got him 5 golden hamsters. We did ladybugs. He tried to get golden penguins. He did the butterflies. He did the pheasants. He bought 1 guardian lion. Look, he has 6 Halloween white dragons, white ghost dragons. He bought him a Jekyll Hydra. I gave him this neon kangaroo because he bought me 4 cabots. So I think I gave him the neon kangaroo for the 4 cabots. But my dad had actually opened up like 3 kangaroos when the Aussie egg was here, because that's when we started playing, was the Aussie egg was here. So he opened up 3 kangaroos himself, but he gave them to me. I think he must have kept 1. He gave me 2. So then I gave him the neon kangaroo. He finally got a Kraken after opening up making so many wishes. He was so upset. Like, he spent so much Robux and he barely got 1 Kraken. So he has a lava dragon, 4 lunar gold tigers. He bought him 4 midnight dragons. So every time a Robux pet would come out, I'd be like, come on, Dad, you should get it. But like when the balloon unicorn came out and it's the pink neon, I said, oh, Dad, you don't probably want to get that. I said, because it's pink. So I'm like, you probably don't want that. But my dad do even like pink. So I probably should have had him get it, but I told him he didn't have to. So he threw some mistletoe. Got some naughty missile trolls. You know, he got some pirate ghost capuchin, an ocean egg, some royal capuchins, some princess capuchins, royal capuchins, some robo dogs. He did get a royal missile troll, a shark. He has 4 Skelerex. Oh, he does have 4 strawberry bad dragons. Okay. And he leveled up 1 to full grown, 1 to post-teen, 5 owls. He has 10 urban eggs. He has a neon vampire dragon and 4 regular vampire dragons. Okay, 8 burning bunnies, couple of albino bats. He has 7 flaming foxes, 35 hamsters. He even got an Indian flying fox. He has 4 kookaburras, some ladybugs, a bunch of lionfish. He has 4 mini pigs, 34 missile trolls, 5 pandas, 2 pelicans. I don't even think I have that many pelicans. I think I have like 1 neon pelican. But he bought pelicans. I don't even think I told him to get that. So yeah, he's got a pretty nice inventory considering a person that only played the game because their daughter, really likes the game and didn't have to force him, but he tried his best to play with me, even though this wasn't his favorite thing to do. So yeah, so that's my dad's inventory. His strollers. Let's see, he has $4,000 silk bags, 2 mistletoe, so he has hot cocoa stands, hot dog stands. Let's look. I'm pretty sure he has lemonade stand. Yeah, but he doesn't have a trading stand, I don't think. Cars. Let's see. So he has like a nice collection of cars, which he opened up that imagination box. All these cars he has, he opened them up himself or bought them with Robux, or event cars. I don't think he's got any stickers. Yeah, he didn't really do stickers. He has 23 of the Baked Alaska. So he had 9 fly potions, 6 rye potions, 4 golden plantain, 2 honey, 53 age up potions. Look, he has 6 mahi spinning rods. He has some wings. Yeah, so that was my dad. And his favorite thing to do when he would first start playing this game? And like I would come on and guess where my dad would be. He is so funny. He'll be sitting right here in the tub, just chilling in the tub. Like, Dad, what are you doing? This ain't real life. You up here sitting in the tub. That's crazy. And he had his little music, and we were able to have like all different kinds of music. He would put his old school music that he liked to play. And so, but now he's up in heaven with God and his wife, my mom, and all his sisters, because he was actually the last one in his family to survive. He was the only boy that his mom had. He had 4 or 5 sisters. They all passed away, with the most recent one passing away like 2 Novembers ago. Not this November, but last November. Yeah, so he was the last one. But like I said, he shouldn't have died. I don't know how he got an infection. He had got his gallbladder removed about a month ago, and then the day before he had got that endoscopy. So I don't know like what could have gave him the infection. But something gave him an infection. And he died. Cool dude. Yeah. And I used to talk to him every day on the phone. We would talk about whatever. Adopt me, other things, life. Yeah, he was my best friend, and he used to tell me like all the time, like, I can't be your best friend. I'm old. You need to have friends your age. I'm saying? I'm not going to be here forever. He would tell me, you need to like talk to your sisters. You need to get someone else to talk to besides me. And it never happened. I never did. So, I like talking to my, I make my videos. I talk to you guys. And I, talk to you guys in the comment sections and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't have nobody to talk to. So now my dad is gone. I can't call him, so I just been like crying and what did I do? Where is Ivania? She left, and I can't teleport to her because she's not friends with my dad. He's only friends with, who's this, Panchita? Oh, somebody friended me because of the new update with the dolphin. So, but he's only friends, like, that's my son. Shantia 77, that's my son. And the rest of these are just like my main account and my aunt account. So that's was the gist of his friends. And he would lock people out his house. Get out of my house. And he locked the door. He didn't want nobody. Look at that girl running around in my house. Yeah. So that was my dad. I'm going to love him. I love him. He's going to be dearly missed. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to ever play Adopt Me again. Like, I really don't have the desire to play. I have friends that play the game, which they will help me, like, take care of my pets while I just sit here like a zombie and just let them take care of my pets while I be all sad, and don't really want to play. So, yeah, that's my dad. 82 years young. He was really healthy. Like, he could outrun me. He was in such that good of a shape. It was crazy. Yeah, my son was scared of him. Like, no, don't let Popo be mad at me. He's gonna kill me. He's so strong. That was my son. He was scared of his papa. He didn't want his papa to be mad at him. So, yeah. And he was always smiling too. Look at this face. Just always smiling. Just, a religious man. Very deep into his Christianity. Went to church every Sunday. He never missed a church day. As much he didn't miss a church day as much as he didn't miss his Zumba or his bowling. Those was his three loves: church, Zumba, and bowling. And talking to me on the phone and his other kids. He used to go see my sister a lot because she lived close by him. I'm farther away, but I would talk to him on the phone every day. So you can see how devastated I am. I don't have nobody to call, nobody to talk to, So it's really sad. All right, my Jazzlicious people. So this is not going to be the last time you see this account. I will be doing some challenges. As a matter of fact, let's go throw. He has 2 mistletoe. Let's throw some mistletoe. Let's see, what is he gonna get? Royal mistletoe. And he got a royal mistletoe, you guys. That's crazy. That is crazy, guys. He got a royal. That's my dad's account. So lucky. Every time I would play against him, he'd always beat me. Okay, I can't believe it. He just got a royal mistletoe. That's crazy. Should I try one more time? I think he has one more left. I don't know. Wow, that's crazy. He got a royal mistletoe, guys. Too bad he couldn't open it himself and get it himself, because he opened up so many, as you guys can see. He did get one. So now he has 2, but he had 34 Mary and then 6 naughty, and then he opened up 1. So now he has 2. Oh my goodness. And what else does he have here I could open? Nothing else I really want to open. Let's see what else he has. Golden clam. Plantain. think that's it. I'm still, oh my God, my dad. Look, he got a mistletoe, guys. That's crazy. Oh. Yeah. So I'm gonna miss my dad. My hero. Now he's my angel. I'm sure he's in heaven watching down over me. And he's probably so worried about me, because he knows I didn't have anybody except for him. So he's probably really worried about me. Yeah. I'm sure if you could worry in heaven, he'll be worrying about me. Because he knows he was my only friend. I have my dummy friends, but as far as a real human being that I can talk to, he was the only one. I'm still tripping out how he got this royal mistletoe. He had $10,000. Invite friends to collect social stones. So I'll probably play with his. I need to play with that Puerto Rich account. How long is this update finna last? I don't know. I haven't even played it at all. So I don't know if I'm gonna post this video. I hope you guys still enjoy watching my content. And I'm going to continue to make videos. I'm hoping I just have to, I think I'll be okay. I know I'll be okay. I'll just really start reading my Bible more, listening to my gospel music, visiting family, my kids and stuff. And yeah, I really feel better, talking with you guys. So I just cannot believe he just got a mistletoe first try, a royal mistletoe. I'm still tripping on that. All right, my Jazzlicious people, comment, like, subscribe, buy my membership. Take care now. Bye.